You're watching Dallas Mavericks today. I am your host, Harrison Graham. You can give me a follow on Twitter. It's at HGrahamNFL. More Mavs discussion, NFL, NBA, I do it all. Okay, there's more Goran Dragic rumors circulating, so let's talk about the latest here as Jake Fisher of Bleacher reports that the Raptors are expected to buy out Dragic according to league sources that have told him that. He also added that the expectation would be for Dragic to then sign with the Dallas Mavericks, which, hey, that's not a surprise, right? I think we all believe if Goran Dragic becomes available in free agency, that he will sign with the Mavs. He's been hanging out with Luka Doncic, working out with him. The Mavs have always liked him. He has respect for the organization. If Toronto cuts him loose, I think he will sign with Dallas. Here's what Fisher had to say, quote, "All my sources around the league have told me that they expect Goran Dragic to be bought out by the Toronto Raptors and swiftly sign with the Dallas Mavericks." So, hey, Jake Fisher's hit on a good amount of stories this offseason, but I'm still in the mode of I'll believe it when I see it because the Toronto Raptors are a very smart and calculated organization. Why would you just cut him loose? Why would you just buy him out and let him sign wherever? Because, yeah, his $20 million or close to on this last year's contract is a lot, but it is an expiring contract. I think you could hang on to him till the NBA trade deadline and potentially get something for him. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll do him a solid, do his agent Bill Duffy a solid, and maybe he helps them down the road. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really suit them or help them out much to just cut Goran Dragic loose. Will Goran Dragic be a Maverick on opening night? Because the storylines continue to unfold between Dragic and the Mavs. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Get your votes in down in the comments. And like I said, why would Toronto do this? Why would an organization led by Masai Ujiri, who's now making like $15 million per year and knows how to run a front office and put a basketball team together, just say, yeah, Goran, we'll just buy you out? I don't get that. It's not like he's John Wall and he's got $44 million on his contract and he's basically untradeable. I think he's a tradable asset for the Raptors. I mean, it's not like he fell off a cliff last season. Sure, he wasn't as effective as he was a couple of years ago, especially on the defensive side, but he still shoots 37% from three, 43% from the field. He can run an offense. He can play off ball. He can start. He can come off the bench. He still has a lot of value, even at $19.7 million for this season. So we'll see. I certainly think it's possible that he ends up with Dallas at some point, but I'm not convinced that between now and training camp or between now and opening night that the Raptors and Dragic are just going to agree to a buyout and then the Mavs are going to go get him. Hopefully it happens for Dallas' sake, but like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll tell you this, if the Mavericks sign Goran Dragic, that's why you should subscribe, because we will have a full video breaking that down. We have the latest Mavs news, rumors, and a whole lot more coverage throughout the rest of the offseason and, of course, on into the 2021 NBA season as well, which will be here before we know it. YouTube.com/MavsTV. This is the channel for you. Don't miss any of our coverage around your Dallas Mavericks. So something else that happened on Wednesday, I believe, or no, Thursday, one of those 2 days, the Mavericks worked out 3 veterans, including Isaiah Thomas. We'll talk about these guys one by one here on today's show. IT, who's, you've seen him on Twitter throughout the offseason. He's dropping 81 points in the Drew League and all that good stuff. Obviously, he still wants to hoop. Worked out with Dallas. The report is that Thomas impressed during the workout, which, okay, that's got me a little bit intrigued. And Dallas is looking for backcourt depth. That is what Chris Mannix reported of, I think he's with Sports Illustrated now. I know he's with The Volume as well. Either way, the Mavericks would like to add another piece to their backcourt, according to him. And we've talked about that, right? Dallas needs another playmaker. Now, I don't know if Isaiah Thomas solves your problems because, let's be honest, he hasn't been good in years. It's been a while since he was an effective player, but maybe in the right situation. He says he's finally fully healthy, but I feel like he said that last offseason. Hasn't been quite the same since that hip injury. I mean, can he be better than Trey Burke? I mean, that's really what this comes down to. If you think he's better than Trey Burke, okay, go sign him. If not, then there's really no point in having him on your roster. Based on last year alone, I know we like to bag on Burke, or this isn't even last year. This is the last 4 years. He's only played in 87 games the last 4 years. Look at the splits, guys. Sure, he can score a little. The efficiency is shot, though. Under 40% from the field, under 35% from three. That's just not going to cut it in today's NBA. You got to be in the low mid 40s from the field, mid mid-high 30s from three if you're going to be a 5'9" point guard. So I don't see it. I'm down to bring him in for a training camp invite or something like that, but if you think Isaiah Thomas is going to come in and give you 10 points off the bench at an efficient clip, I just think you're going to be disappointed. But he was one of the veterans that did work out and actually did impress, according to reports. Who do you guys think is the better player? Like I said, I think the only way you sign him is if you think he's better than Trey Burke. Type TB for Burke, type IT for Isaiah Thomas. I'd probably just keep the guy I have because I at least know Burke's going to stay healthy and have a few games a year where he goes off. So get your votes in, TB or IT. Now, today's show is sponsored by BetUS, the best sports book in the game. I'm a big college football fan. Made some money last night. Lost some money as well, but came out on top overall. You can make some money also throughout the football season and, of course, basketball season once it gets here. Chatsports.com/MFFL. That is the link to go. Use our promo code MFFL to get a 125% deposit bonus. And, hey, I know a lot of you guys are probably Cowboys fans, so go bet for or against the Cowboys in Week 1. Dallas is 7.5-point underdogs on the road against the defending champion Buccaneers. The over-under between these two teams is 51.5. I love the over in this game. Chatsports.com/MFFL. Use that promo code MFFL again. That is going to get you a 125% deposit bonus. All right, let's keep it rolling. 3 vets worked out. Number 2, Lance Stephenson. Lance Stephenson, who's been out of the NBA for 2 years now, hadn't played since 2019. Also apparently impressed in the workout along with Isaiah Thomas. Everyone impressed except for the last guy we'll get to. Could provide some defense and versatility. 6'6", 230 pounds. Kind of a 2-3 hybrid, can handle the ball a little bit. Again, he hadn't played in 2 years in the NBA, so how much is left in the tank, that's kind of hard to say for sure. But you got to at least acknowledge that Lance has played roles on good teams in the past. He was a key player for those Pacers teams that were going to the Eastern Conference playoffs. He played fairly well for the Lakers a few years ago as well. And what's crazy about him, he's only 30. I swear he was 38 years ago, but he's still only 30 years old. Him and Serge Ibaka are still, they're entering year 15 each, and they still are only in their early 30s. I don't get how that works, but that's just the world we live in. But that intrigued me when I realized he was only 30. It's like, I mean, you can be in good shape at 30 years old. Career numbers, he's fine. 8.5 points, 4 boards, 3 assists. Mid-40s from the field. Never been a really good three-point shooter, which is kind of a problem in today's NBA, but always been a good defender, can handle, kind of a streaky scorer as well. I'm somewhat intrigued because the Mavs could use another wing defender, which he certainly was when he was in his prime. Can he come in and be close to that level of Lance Stephenson? I don't really know. That seems unlikely after 2 years off. But again, when you're only 30, if you're in good shape and you're motivated, maybe he could come in and give you a bit of a boost. Name a player that the Mavs should sign. If you want Lance Stephenson, you can type his name. If it's someone else, let me know down in the comments, and then we will take a look at one more guy the Mavericks worked out, a player you guys are very familiar with. Ah, yes, Monta Ellis, have it all. Monta getting a workout with the Dallas Mavericks. I was thinking about this when I saw this report. I was like, Monta Ellis, he's been out of the league for a couple of years. Yeah, try 4. Hasn't played since the 2016-17 NBA season. And Mannix did not mention him in terms of the players who did impress. So that tells me he probably did not impress in his workout. And that's not surprising. It's been almost half a decade since he's laced him up. Turns 36 in October. I love Monta. He was fun when he was in Dallas, but not only has he not played since 17, he basically hasn't been a good player since like 14 or 15. I mean, that's a long time at this point. Let's just call it what it is. Monta Ellis is cooked. Like he doesn't have anything left in the tank. He's still living in the DFW area, so the Mavs did him a solid. They appreciated his time here. Hey, yeah, come work out. We'll provide the Gatorade, and it'll all be good for you at the end of the day. We'll break a sweat for you. We'll throw you a little, one of those string backpacks, but we're not signing you. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. But it's fun to reminisce. That team that took the Spurs to 7 games was fun, and he was a key player, arguably the best player on that team. 18 points in his 2 seasons with the Mavs, 45% from the floor. The mid-range J was always lethal, that elbow jumper. But, Yeah, I mean, guys, he's 36 in a couple of months. Hadn't played since 2017. Hadn't played at a high level since 2015. So, it's fun to talk about. It's fun to reminisce. But at the end of the day, I do not expect Monta Ellis to get signed by the Mavs or anyone else. Maybe it's one of those weird stories where a G League team signs him just to put a few butts in the seats. But I don't see it happening. So pick a vet. He's cooked. Type 1 for Isaiah Thomas. Type 2 for Lance Stephenson. Type 3 for Monta Ellis. Little off the rails at the end of the show. Let me know, out of these three guys who are well past their primes, who would you rather have?